And welcome back to the Battle of Hastings 2022. This is day 2 of our live stream, and today we have some very special events lined up. We have the park session, and we have the fireball best trick. Once again, I'm your host. My name is Chris Doyle. Joining alongside me in the booth this weekend is Mr. Trey Jones. Trey, thanks again for being here with me.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Now, we've already had some pretty exciting events. We've had the bunny hop competition. We've had the beach rail best trick competition yesterday. But tell me a little bit about what you're excited about today.
I mean, not excited for anything in particular, just overall the energy of the park session is always just insane. So many different gaps and just transfers and different stuff that gets done. And when you get the best riders in the world riding this course, anything can happen. So just excited to see everybody go off in general.
Well, and it's like you said yesterday, the course never really changes, but every year these riders step it up more and more and more. It's like, what more can be done? And I was watching practice, I'm not going to give anything away, and I saw some things that are going to blow some people's minds. I mean, we got a new face here, Josh Dove. That's a guy everyone's really talking about. He's never been here before, and he was just ripping straight to the ceiling in practice. So super fun to watch him ride. Looking forward to watching him do his thing. But let's give you guys a little bit of a taste of how this contest is run. And now that you see that there is no I in team, this is a team competition. Everybody has to pull their own weight. And we're going to get a good look at what the current standings are after the two events. We've had the bunny hop competition and we've had the beach rail competition. We're going to get a look at and see what teams are in what place before we get into today's competitions. We have Team Varignac in first place, Team Dove in second, Team Sam Jones in the third place, Team Riley in the fourth, and Team Anthony Parent in that fifth. Now remember, the top 5 teams move on to tomorrow, so all of these teams here are competing to be in that top 5 spot right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the 2 events that we've done have been like a little bit more street-based, you know, with the bunny hop and the rail. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it all goes in the park session. But
yeah, and we're getting a look at our heats right now. We have Team Semcock, which will have Tom Russell and Semcock himself. Team Morgan Wade with Michael Laren and Mark Webb, although I don't think Mark Webb's here right now, so let's see who's filling in for him in a little bit. And Team Ollie Shields with, wow, Corey Walsh and Tom van de Bogart. So, I mean, we have some stacked heats. I mean, just look at all the names on your screen right now. I'm not going to bore you with reading every single name, but oh my gosh, we got Jack Clark, another late addition to Team Anthony Perrin because Anthony Perrin got hurt. So Jack Clark is in. We have Team Jones, Jordan O'Kane, Felix Prangenberg, and there's a guy that you've already heard me mention so far, Team Dove with Sergio Leos and Josh Dove himself. I mean, just look at the stacked names and watch out for Kevin Peraza. I watched him in practice, and it's unfair how good that dude really is. So this is going to be a lot of fun from our perspective, from the spectators' perspective. It's a sold-out crowd out there. So what are you looking forward to seeing?
I mean, like you said, Josh Dove, I mean, he's amazing, but Peraza always does some crazy stuff as well. It's actually funny. I saw Mark Webb out there practicing, so I think that he might be here, and yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Okay, so that's my co-host has a different set of eyes. I didn't see Mark Webb, so now I'm excited. This is amazing. But we have 18 riders, 2 riders per team. Each rider gets 3 runs, a max of 50 seconds per rider, and the average of the best 2 runs. Scores from both teams' riders are added. Max team score of 200 points. Teams are then ranked 1 through 9, and the results are then added to that overall score. Again, all of these teams want to be in that top 5 position. And yeah, today's really going to decide a lot of that because, I mean, the park session always goes off, and as does the best trick. So Fireball putting on the best trick competition. I don't think any of the riders have been drinking any Fireball yet. But
hey, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe
man.
take the edge off a little bit. But yeah, today's going to be really, really exciting. Let's get a good look here at the park course. Awesome to see that course preview right there. Not sure who the rider is, but right now we're getting a look at all of the judges. We got Owen Clegg, Dave Cleworth, Ruben Alcantara, Moritz Nussbaumer, and Mr. Van Homan. A few guys that know a thing or two about a thing or two. Now, Dre, you've judged this event before. Can you tell us from a judging perspective how difficult these guys' jobs are?
Extremely difficult because you have guys that are street riders that are riding more of the rails. You have transition guys that are riding more of the bowl, and it's always hard to compare, like, what's harder, riding a bowl or riding a rail? You know what I mean? You can't, who's to say what's harder? And it puts these guys in a really particular spot, and I tell you what, judging was not my favorite thing to do here.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't want to be a judge at any event, really, because you're either loved or hated. But look, Van Homan giving a salute to the crowd up there. I mean, pretty much all of this field has looked up to guys like Van Homan and Ruben Alcantara, and even Owen Clegg, who's a bit of a sleeper as far as heavy hitters go.
UK legend, man. UK legend. There's Mark Webb right there on the course in the white. Told you he was here.
I didn't see him. This is the first time I've seen him ride the course. So
the guy doesn't need practice.
I guess not. But I mean, I know a lot of people were really looking forward to having him come ride this, and I talked to Morgan yesterday. I'm like, is Webby coming? He's like, well, I'm not really sure yet. So the fact that Mark Webb's here, and I know a lot of people are excited, it's gonna be a good show. Getting a look at the MC, Mr. Daryl Now, right there with his red pants and fanny pack.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. I'm really stoked, and we got a few new riders this year. You know, like I said, Josh Dove, Mark Webb, guys that have not ridden this contest before. So it's always good to have fresh blood. But then you have guys like Kevin Peraza that have been here, I would dare to say, every single year. You know, so but he'll probably come up with something new again. You know, he's always a wild card. So I think it'd be good. Michael Laren, he's a new one. You know, haven't seen him ride this course before. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be really awesome, man. It's you always think that the semifinals are not gonna be that crazy, but they always get nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw Mr. Daryl Now hyping up the crowd right now. I mean, the atmosphere here is second to none when it comes to BMX contests. I mean, everyone's excited. It's a BMX educated crowd, and for what the BMX educated crowd lacks in, Daryl and Mr. Andy Zeiss make up for, and they really blow the roof off this thing. I mean, you can see it's standing room only up there, and this is just the preliminary rounds. We're not even into tomorrow's final rounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can tell what this means to the spectators and to the fans, and we're sold out today and tomorrow. So, just really fun event to be a part of. Everyone loves being here, from the riders to the MCs to you to me to the judges, and it's just an absolute honor to be here.
Yeah, we got I don't know. I'm just always stoked to see what's going to go down, because it's like you said, it's the same. It's very similar course every single year, but for some reason, people keep finding stuff to do. I'll be honest. I'm happy that I don't have to do another run in that bowl, because I ran out of stuff, you know, the past 2 years. So, but that's why it's good to have new guys, you know. Like, but I'm sure Greg Illingworth right there in the Mongoose jersey, he's going to be doing some insane gap to wall ride or fast plant. You know, he always approaches it differently. Sim Cox is another one that has it so dialed. But looks like we got Tom Russell rolling in for the first person. Tom is a shredder. He rides for Cole, and he's on his signature colorway of his frame, using the whole course.
I watched Tom ride in practice. And in practice, he was going a lot faster, a lot higher. I gotta say, Trey, I think he's a little bit nervous, because honestly, I mean, the lines that I saw him doing in practice were a little bit more impressive. But you know what? It's never easy to be the first guy to drop in, especially at an event like this with everyone watching. It's like the world stops. It's all eyes on you, showing you that big transfer right there.
Wow. Yeah, he is. Tom is no stranger to a bowl, super fast and super high. And wow, look at that big gap. Oh my God, LE3 over the box. Yeah, Tom is a shredder. Who we got next up on the list? Who's going to be dropping in next? Let's see. Tom's still shredding. Breakless wall tap. Let's see. Who's next on the list? Who's next? Tom just getting warmed up.
Yeah, like I said, never easy to be the first guy to go. You kind of set the tone for how the rest of the contest is going to go. And it's from a judging perspective, it's like, okay, we haven't seen anything else. We got to put a score on this guy. So it's not easy from his perspective or a judging perspective. But looks like we got Mr. Semcock ready to drop in right now, coming from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Sem is a shredder. He has this bowl so figured out. Oh my God, the pull back into the bowl, that's so gnarly. Damn, all the way up to the top of the wall with the manual. Jeez. That vert wall has about oh my gosh. I can't even keep up here. I can't even keep up. 3 table up onto the hip, turn down back to the vert wall. Sem is no stranger to this bowl, and he uses every single ounce of it. Going into the little bowl, the wall ride up on the Dickies wall. Sem is a shredder.
Yeah, and you know, look at him taking all the cranks here. We saw him get up on that wall, no brakes on that bike, so there was no feathering the brake. He had to fully have balance on that, and you saw him ratchet a few times like he's riding for Craftsman, but fighting for this manual, I saw him try to get that in practice a couple times, but good first showing from Simcock. Didn't go to the other side of the venue for the most part, but I mean, kept it in the bowl, kept it fast, kept it flowy, and yeah, like you said, always fun to watch Sem do his thing.
Yeah, and I always wonder what the judges want to see more. Is it more of using the entire course but not going as fast, or just going really, really fast and only using part of the course? You know, it's hard to judge what is better. Obviously, riding the whole course and going fast all at the same time, but you know, Michael Laren, this is a new guy this year. We haven't seen him ride Battle of Hastings before. You know, he's more common to see on the vert ramp or the mega ramp, but he can do it all. Huge 3 look back. Shout out to Mike Aiken. Hanger on the rail.
Goofy-footed rider too, so he spins into that left foot. So the 3 look back's a little bit more natural for him. Whereas, you know, typically you see someone do like a 3 turn down, but the 3 look back is what he shines with the most. And when you're talking, oh, and you love the Grizz air right there.
Shout out to Taj. Shout out to Taj. Yeah, Mike Hell is shredding right now. Dude, the wall ride gap bowl to bowl. Oh my God, straight into the 3 over that box. Hey, and that section over there with all the transition that Mike Hell is in is not easy to ride. I was riding it earlier, and that is all super tight, awkward transitions. It's not easy to 360 into something like that, but Mike Hell making a good first impression.
Yeah, and when we were talking about judging, I think the judges just want to see you do what you do the best. Like they wouldn't want to see me go over to the handrail section, because that's not what I'm doing.
If you did a nice ice pick down the rail, everybody'd be stoked. I don't want to hear any of that handrail section. Everybody would love that.
Well, regardless, I think the judges just want to see you do what you do, and they're going to judge you accordingly. But yeah, I mean, Mike Hale, straight out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, coming out of that 4-season skate park. But check him out, Mark Webby is in the building.
Wow. Ice pick on the sub rail. This dude really reinvented BMX in the early 2000s. He made a huge impact on his tech riding. Look at that, wall tap, tail tap, ice, foot jam, Vader. Jesus, so hard. With the Hurricane, Chris, you gotta love that.
Well, he hasn't left the 2-foot bowl section yet. So doing, you know, about 24 tricks in the span of 30 seconds in a 2-foot bowl. That's classic Mark Webb style, but he does have jumping tricks too. He can go big, he can blast a quarter pipe. Let's see if he hops in this bowl and puts it together. Has he ever ridden the Source before?
I have no idea. Wow, flare to double peg. He's so good, dude, it's crazy. Ice pick grind to fakie.
What I hope people understand how. Look at the flare out of the fast plan.
Wow! Shout out to Davey Bestwick, fellow British man. Flare turn down. Wow. Mark Webb, literally, it almost looks like he's joking around, but just doing the craziest tricks imaginable. He is one of the most talented bike riders to ever exist, and he, like I said, man, in the early 2000s, he really changed what people thought was possible on the technical side of doing the flares and the lip tricks and stuff like that. You know, he really changed a lot of BMX stuff. Next up, my man Corey Walsh. He is actually 3-time Nora Cup Transition Rider of the Year. And, wow!
Okay.
He has hit the plastic on. Whoa! And bonking going in.
You always have to watch the subtleties with Corey Walsh, because you notice he'll bonk that back wheel in some places that a back wheel shouldn't be, and he keeps the flow going. He's always so fun to watch. This dude came to my local skate park, and I was telling them, I was like, hey guys, the park's kind of hard to ride. You got to get used to it here and there, but they had it wired in 5 minutes, and I felt terrible about myself. But you saw right there, he did that, like a pocket in the wall, where he came out of the wall and then back into the wall, pocketing that curved part.
Yeah,
so,
literally airing out of the wall, riding up the wall ride, doing an air, riding back down it. Literally no other person on this planet that does that. Nobody.
You have to imagine that a guy like Ruben really appreciates what Corey Walsh brings to the table with a lot of the transition stuff that just, because Ruben did a lot of stuff that just didn't seem possible, and he made it possible. I think Corey Walsh does a good job of that as well.
Tom Van Bogard in next. Vader slide, 360 over the box, nollie bar, filling in all the dead space with all the tricks. Coming in, hitting the transfer, he's gonna jump to the vert wall. Wow!
Okay.
Downside whip.
Wow, I love that combo.
Turn down over the hip. Tom is a very underrated rider. I feel like not a lot of people get to see a lot of him, but he can seriously shred in transition.
Well, dude, he's like 6'5", and he's, I think, more comfortable riding much bigger ramps, because you watch some of the stuff, some of the edits and some of the web content that he puts out. He's usually riding huge vert-esque style ramps, big box jumps. He competed recently over in England at the MotoGP, and just usually riding much bigger jumps, but obviously showing us that he's not afraid to get down with this bull.
Yeah, he is using every square inch of that course. He shredded that, and you know, he just used every single square inch, doing tricks all over the place. Yeah, I think that he really lived up to the hype of his name. But yeah, really good to see Tom out here shredding. He's no stranger to the source. He's been here quite a few times, but it's always good to see him do new stuff. Looks like we're gonna go back to the top. Tom Russell.
All right, let's see what Mr. Tom Russell has. He had a good first showing. Again, being the first rider to drop in, never an easy task. So let's see if he can kind of clean some things up a little bit for run number 2.
Pocket to lip slide, classic 1-foot tabletop over the hip. Spreading the wings over the hip with a big tuck no-hander. Getting into the street section, gap lip slide. Shout out to Jeff Slatterly. Bar air on the quarter.
Doing a nothing there, or is it just a no-footer?
It's just a real sick no-footer, Chris. You know, that's originality. I really don't think anybody else is going to be doing no-footers over that. So, you know, that's extra points. Gapping in, going for the vert wall.
Yes, I love that.
Classy tabletop into the vert wall. See, now Tom's warmed up. Now we're really getting the full show. And, you know, it's what the judges want to see.
Yeah, you shake those nerves a little bit. I think that wanted to be a 360 turn down, but you know, you shake off those nerves. I love the transfer out of that 2 to 3 foot bowl into that vert wall. We saw Morgan Wade do the flare on that transfer a few years ago. Absolutely insane. So impressive showing from Tom Russell. You notice he used like all of the park. He didn't just stay in one.
And he did tricks all over the place.
All over the place.
He was really utilizing it. So we got Sem coming back in, team captain this year. That pullback is gnarly. Straight up to the vert wall.
Sticking to a similar line that he had in his first run, trying to nail that manual. Look at the pocket out of that wall ride. Are you kidding me?
Jesus.
He makes it look so easy from our perspective. I mean, we're just kind of hunkered down here watching on the screen, but we're not out there. He just made that look entirely way too easy.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody else does that pocket wall except for Sem, but he makes it look so easy. I was also watching him do that in practice, which is crazy because he's hitting the wall ride, gapping off the end of it, and then landing all the way in the end of the hip, like seriously maxing out every square inch. And like I said, it's super original to see somebody doing something that nobody else is doing, like the wall ride in the pocket and doing the wall ride gap into the hip. You know, doing stuff that's different than everybody else is doing, but is also super difficult. Is what judges are looking for.
Yeah, originality goes a long way, especially in the eyes of guys like Van Homan and Owen Clegg and Ruben Alcantara. We got Michael Laren back up in the mix. It's so crazy to say that he's more of a vert guy, rides a lot. Whoa, Superman C-grab!
That was so beautiful. A huge shout out to Corey Nastasi. Superman C-grab expert.
One of your favorite riders of all time.
Wow!
Double peg the tail whip.
That is something you do not see very often from Michael, but the fact that he just pulled it in a contest run is so wild.
Did not expect the double peg to tail whip off.
He is such a shredder, dude. Like, he seriously can do all of it. Ride bowl to bowl.
Arguably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, too.
Yeah,
Positivity
sure.
just oozes.
Yeah, he is one of the coolest dudes ever, man. He seriously says nothing negative about anybody. He's just like a super dude. There it is!
Yes.
The foot plant 360 in! That is his move. When I saw him do that in the X Games, I was like, that's the sickest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing.
Dude, he's got a lot of those moves that he can do. He has a lot of those like deck moves that he does that you don't expect to see, and then it's like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah, it's so that's and like it's always nice to see somebody do a run and you're genuinely surprised. You know, that's like super refreshing. Got Mark Webb back in there, British legend. Whoa, wow, he foof ice tap, backwards manual, ice pick, flare turn down in the quarter. near no-hander. You think this is a vert run?
Yeah, this is so crazy. It's just his technical ability on his bike is just almost unmatched.
Yeah, he's seriously. Jesus! Like 900! That quarter pipe is like maybe less than 6 feet tall, and he just sent a 900 on it. But, man, like, I'll be honest, this is what I love to see, is just somebody doing something that is completely different than everybody else. Like, you can tell that he's just like, I'm not trying to go fast and high, I'm not trying to do the rail stuff, I'm going to go out there and do exactly what I do, and if people like it, cool. But I'm trying to be original and be exactly who I am, and I have mad respect for that. That's awesome.
Like, yeah, I'm just going to bust out this 900 real quick.
Yeah, we got Corey back in there. He's working on another fast and loose video. Shredding. Jesus! Oh my God! From the roll in back into the curb wall ride, bonking out of that. Jesus. When he gapped up in that source wall, it looked like he might have wanted something on that balcony. Look at that! That's what we were talking about earlier. Doing an air on the curb wall ride. Riding up a vertical wall, doing an air, and going back into a vertical wall, and then into the corner. Seriously amazing. Jesus.
Yeah, he's just toying with it now.
That is seriously so, it might not look that crazy to the viewers at home, but that is seriously mind-blowing. There's nobody else on this planet that does that besides Corey. He has proven what the physicalities of BMX can be pushed to.
And notice, I said before, you got to watch the subtleties right there. You saw him do the wall ride on that wall there and just drop down straight, bonk the back wheel on the deck. And yeah, impressive showing from Mr. Corey Walsh. Again, he stayed primarily in that bowl area, didn't really transfer out, stayed within his comfort zone, and he did a lot of impressive transfers.
But like you said that you think the judges want to see people do what they do, and Corey's a bull rider, and that's what he does. So it's I think we'll see a lot more of the street guys stand in the street area. But if you use the whole course like Tom is here doing the 1-foot with the table transfer, that'll get you the most points with the judges.
Well, yeah, I mean, and
flip turn
backflip turn down. A lot of riders treat that as if it's a box jump, but it's
not a box jump.
It's no pleasure cruise. I mean, you're
not.
landing in like a 2-foot transition, so you either have to land really well or you just feel like shit when you land. You either case it or you land flat. So
it's also out of a 6-foot quarter. It's out of a 6-foot quarter with coping on it. That is not a box jump loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the Vader nose wheelie right there.
KINK and foot jam on the quarter pipe. Tom really giving it all he got on that one. Seriously shredding. He just shredded that so hard. The flip turn down over that box. That's so crazy because if you notice that the left side of the box jump there is skinnier than the right side. So sometimes you hit it and it might be an 8-foot gap. Sometimes you hit it and it might be a 10-foot gap. You know what I mean? That's really hard to predict, especially when you're only going into a 4-foot quarter pipe with coping on it. So if you case, it is just it's not.
No.
I've done it plenty. I've tried to jump it plenty of times and cased it. So.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's why we're in here.
Wow. Tom with the Euro to lip slide, 1-foot table again. That pocket to lip slide is really, really sick. Tucking a hander over the hip, spreading the wings.
Kind of sticking to the similar line. Maybe it's just like trying to get one clean visit to the course, get the run that he actually wants to get. You see he's running out of steam a little bit. Oh, he goes for the no-hander this time as opposed to the no-footer that he'd done the runs prior.
Maybe you heard our commentary. He's like, you know what, guys, I'm taking the hands off this time, not the feet. You know? But Tom is shredding. He is roast. I seriously see some of his photos on Instagram of him airing out at his local skate park, and it is mind-blowing.
He's got some sleeper tricks, too. Watch, I think he's going to go for the 3 turn down into the bowl right here. Let's check him out.
Oh, the sleeper trick, like you're saying!
Dude, the sleeper.
Didn't see that one coming.
He'll pull some tricks out, and you're like, I didn't know he could do that. Have you seen him flip before? I haven't seen him flip before.
I didn't see him barrel roll over the box jump before. You were like, yeah, he's got sleeper tricks. Oh, my God. It's a barrel roll thing, whatever they call those things. But, yeah, Tom Shredder, and that was so awesome. He's seriously shredded. Barrel roll over the box jump, not expected. Sam getting back in there.
Is Sam going to stick to the same line that he's been doing? Going to try to eye up this manual yet again?
No, let's see. Is he going to get it?
Fighting for it.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Okay, that vert wall has about 6 feet of vert on it. No, probably more than that. Maybe like more like 8 feet of vert. Dropping in on that thing, it would take a good amount of money for me to drop it.
Yeah, and no brakes, ratcheting up on the monster wall like he was, and just kind of fighting for that manual, and then trying to just guide it back down the vert wall. I mean, come on, that's just dangerous right there. It looks like he's going to go back in for more.
All right, let's see if he gets the manual. Oh my God! Oh, wow!
Well, we saw him do it in his first run. I was kind of surprised. Like, maybe he didn't like it. I don't know.
Maybe he just wanted it with the brakes. There is the pocket wall right again. Super original. Nobody else is doing that. Sem he's a shredder, man. I feel like we don't get to see too much of him at, events in the U.S., but being over here in the UK, it's cool to see him. And I think that he actually did the qualifying contest again. I'm pretty sure that's how he became a captain.
Yeah, he spends a good deal of time out here in Hastings, and he rides his bull quite regularly, as we've seen. Michael there, looking better and better each run. There's that.
Ooh, making his team captain proud, Morgan Wade. The Superman tail whip expert himself, Morgan, as the captain.
Morgan doesn't like when people do the Superman tail whip better than him, so I bet when we see Morgan ride, he's going to try to do it even bigger.
When I was 10 years old, the first time I ever saw Morgan Wade was doing a Superman tail whip at a Roots Jam with I think he had a hubcap belt buckle on. So.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time I ever saw a Superman tail whip, and that was a close second. That was good. That was good. Going for the wall ride again. Wow, that's crazy. He's doing that in every run. That's usually like people's last trick. So the fact that he's just doing it, no big deal, is really awesome. With the crowd pleaser.
Yeah, the classic flare. There it is.
Oh, there it is again. Yeah, Michael, that was awesome.
And he's got so many tricks like that he can just kind of throw into the mix whenever he needs it. Just kind of throwing a deck trick like that, and it's always a crowd pleaser. We have Bart Connor sitting back there, so that's interesting to see. I didn't know he was going to be here. Mr. Mark Webb is about to drop in. Let's see what he's got for his third visit to the course. I mean, he's spent a lot of time with the technical tricks. He's done a flare no-hander, flare look back. I mean, I'll let you take it from here, Trey, because I can't keep up.
Decade 360 tail tap, I think it was. I think if you're referring to Bart Taylor in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bart Connor's well, Bart Connor's his real name, and Bart Taylor was the character. My bad.
Okay.
I apologize to rad enthusiasts out there.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I think Mark Webb's trying to get a decade 360? Decade to 360? Because he does decade catch. Yeah. So I guess it would be decade to 360 tail tap, I would think. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure what Mark calls it, but decade 360 tail tap, something that surprisingly I've never done that trick before.
Well, I'm still kicking myself on getting Bart Connor and Bart Taylor confused. So yeah, good run from Mark Webb out there for the first two prior. Probably not what he wanted to do for his third visit to the course. But awesome to have Mark Webb out here. I know a lot of people were excited just to see him ride. He spends a lot of time on social media, but you don't necessarily get to see him in person very often anymore. But here's a guy that you get to see in person a lot, Mr. Corey Walsh.
Jeez, he is up there, and then the dropping into the curve wall right to body jar. Wow. Shout out to Dave Mira. He used to do the body jars on vert, and that used to be super gnarly.
Is that what you call it? They call it the body jar? When you just let that back wheel lag and tap it like that?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it called a body jar. I've heard it called it, I think Corey calls it a NAR jar, but I think that's a skateboard term. I think a NAR jar is a 540 to body jar, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's radical, and it's sick, and Corey's really good at it. So.
Yeah, super good at it.
Yeah, we could call it the Walsh jar. Got Tom Van Bogart up next. Let's see what he's got. Starting out with a little Vader slide on the quarter. 360 over the spine thing. No bar. He's come back with it. He's going for that vert wall.
Yeah, he loves this line right here. Check him out.
1 foot X, the 1 foot tape. Shout out to Mark Mulville. Turn down over the hip. No hander on the next quarter. What's he got on the Oh, the nothing! Shout out Mark. Chris Bennett, Mark Mulville tricks.
Yeah, Mulville would have done the nothing and then like a pendulum afterwards as well.
Fit in 4 more things.
Quick little legs. Poor Van de Bogart is about 6'5", so I don't know if he can.
Quick little legs.
Yeah.
Nose press on the wall ride, another Vader slide. It's crazy people can do that in a competition. That's a crazy trick that people just have to figure out. Wall right on the Vans wall.
And he's had 3 really consistent visits to the course. Hasn't really messed up too much. I mean, that was like clean and consistent contest riding right there.
For sure, and using the whole course, doing a bunch of good stuff. But yeah, overall, Tom, ripping. There's Bart Connors out there on the course getting ready to go.
Yeah, to be clear, I got the actor and the character confused. That's my bad. I apologize to all the rad enthusiasts out there, but Greg Illingworth is rocking the Bart Taylor Mongoose jersey that was seen at Hell Track in 1985, so really cool to see. So there you have it. That's Heat 1 done. So luckily, we're not judges, but I mean, we saw a lot of good riding. What was perhaps maybe your favorite thing from Heat 1?
Oh man, I mean, Sem landing really flat on that vert wall was scary. I mean, that was just insane. But Corey shredding, Michael shredding, Mark Webb doing some insane tech tricks that people shouldn't be doing in contest runs that somehow he can pull off. But everybody killed it. Everybody was shredding, and I think it was a good start. Good start to the event.
Absolutely a good start. I really liked watching Tom Russell do his thing. He's a bit of a local. He rides here a lot, and I liked watching him flow around and kind of start on his first run, and he didn't really have the he had the jitters, I think, and then like, it got better second run, got better third run. So awesome to watch him do his thing. All these guys, like you said, Sem Koch really put on, and Michael Laren was always fun to watch. Tom van den Bogart. I mean, again, happy not to be a judge. We just kind of get to fan out and talk about it and get to enjoy it.
Yeah, man. It was super cool. Everybody killed it. Corey doing the pocket wall ride air, like I can't stress how crazy that is. That's seriously mind-blowing that he goes above coping and lands back in a wall and then back into the quarter. But yeah, everybody's shredding super, super hard. But yeah. It's awesome, man. Stoked.
Yeah, and keep in mind, that was only Heat 1. We have plenty more coming up. Be sure to stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Heat 1 is a wrap, and we are sitting here with one of the competitors from Heat 1, Mr. Tom van den Bogart, from the Netherlands, coming in. This is your first visit to the Source Skate Park, first time at Battle of Hastings. Talk a little bit about the atmosphere out there.
Well, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Like, I've seen it in videos, but like feeling it in real life, it's something different. Like, so good. Like, you get so much energy, and yeah, it's just awesome. Kind of exhausted now. I just finished up the run, so that's cool.
Yeah, dude just stepped off the course. He's hot, he's sweaty, he's breathing heavy, he's still trying to catch his breath. So thank you for coming in and being here with us. Now, I'm more used to seeing you ride some big ramps. I see you like up in the rafters, you're riding big box jumps, big quarters, big dirt jumps as we saw recently at the MotoGP. These ramps, I think, are a little bit smaller than what you're used to. Was it difficult for you to adapt to a bowl setting and then the park setting as well? You had to find some different transfers, but it seemed to me like you adapted no problem. But what was that like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely something different. Like with a course like this, you really have to be precise. Like you have to land perfectly, otherwise the next like quarter or gap or hip will suck. So it's like, it's a little bit different. Like there's less room for error, kind of. So. Yeah.
Trey, any questions for Tom here?
How does this compare riding this course to other courses? Because you do have like the street elements kind of on one side and a bowl on the other side. So it seems like there's certain riders that either do really good in the bowl and really good in the street stuff, but you kind of like use the entire course. So was it hard riding that style of course than more than what you're used to? It's kind of similar to Chris's question, but.
To be honest, I kind of only used the street course to get speed for that gap I did, but still if I would have ended up in the street section, I would still like try some back stuff or anything, like just fun to play around. So
yeah, I mean, we were talking about when we were commentating that it's like Chris was saying how the judges just want to see people do what they're good at. You know what I mean? And if you're good in the bowl, they want to see you shredding in the bowl, and they want to see you in the street, and they want to see you in the street. But yeah, I mean, you killed it, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. Excellent work out there. Thanks for coming by and chatting with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, awesome. But I think we're gonna go to the standings.
Heat 2 coming in red hot. Team Stark, represented by Greg Illingworth, and Rim Nakamura coming from the land of the rising sun, Japan. Team Anthony Perrin, Kason Downing, and Jack Clark, who was a late addition. And Team Riley, Jose Torres, and Kieran Riley, pride of England, coming in. That's going to be exciting to watch. Last year pulled out the double flare. We've seen him since do the triple flare. Not sure if we're going to see that at today's competition, but hey, I'm not calling him out either, but always another stacked heat, Trey.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, especially guys like Kieran Riley that are just like pushing the limits of like park riding, you know? It'll be interesting to see them in the bowl. It's like very similar to what we were saying with Michaela, where it's like you've seen him on a mega ramp or a vert ramp. So seeing him in that bowl atmosphere, or even Tom, you know, like you see him ride big stuff. But it'll be good. I mean, if they're professionals, I'm sure we'll see them kill it. So I'm not too worried about it, you know. But yeah, got a view of the course right there, and yeah, this next heat is gonna be killer.
I'm really looking forward to watching Greg Illingworth ride the Source Park. In my humble opinion, I don't think there's many people that ride this skate park better than Greg. I mean, watch how much ground he covers in a very short amount of time. He is our first rider up. He is on course, looking like Bart Taylor, who was played by Bart Connor, as we know. Check him out.
Wow!
Huge!
Oh, big pocket table up there, out to the top. 1 foot tabletop into the vert wall, hitting the curve wall ride casually. Greg actually lives here in Hastings, and he rides here all the time. So he has this place especially wired. Wall ride from bowl to bowl, like we saw Michael doing earlier, transferring into the street course. Looks like he is having to take a breather right now because he just used a lot of gas on that. Transferring, oh, the 270 up onto the wall, that was sick. Then into the vert wall, I haven't seen that line yet. That was super rad.
Yeah, and again, it looks like he's got a little bit of nerves right now. You know, he's riding in front of his hometown. Wow. I mean, originally from South Africa, but I mean, he lives here in Hastings now, so he's got some friends and family in the crowd right now. But I mean, just putting on and showing you again, like those original lines that he has. We saw him gap down into that 2 foot bowl, but he had to come in over that 6 foot portion. It's super steep, so he made it look easy, but rest assured that is very difficult.
Yeah, man, yeah. And you know, I think next up we got Rim Nakamura, which this is another person that's used to riding enormous ramps.
Watch how high he goes on this quarter right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez, double truck step up into the roll-in, back in there, switch down whip into the vert wall. Rim is used to riding enormous rams. Jeez, huge tabletop, getting up there into the bleachers. Wow, 360 ground chuck X up. Shout out to ground chuck.
Yeah, the old school guys will be like, "What? No, that's Daryl Young, man." But anyways, for our generation, yeah.
He made it famous. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Rim with the look back, getting over into the street course. Rim has street moves. Do not let the park. Look at that, nollie to hanger all in the street course. Pegs, switch bar coming back in. Tuck no hander over the spine. Rim using everything.
Yeah, from the land of the rising sun, all the way from Japan. He's an Olympian. We have an Olympian in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So awesome to see Rim Nakamura out here. We always see him more at the bigger events, like the more like, you know, the Olympics, the X Games, things like that. So awesome to have him out here at a core event. I know he's super excited to be here. And Rim is, again, similar to what I was saying about Michael, Rim's one of the nicest people you could ever have a conversation with, and he knows his history very, very well.
Yeah. Next up, I did not catch this guy's name, but I believe that this is it Casson Downey?
Casson,
that's what it is. Saw him riding in practice, and I asked about 3 different people. I was like, yo, what's that dude's name? He is a shredder. But, yeah, he is ripping around, pegless, brakeless, using all the transition. Representing
one of our sponsors here, KINK Bicycles, riding the backwoods frame, available at finer retailers worldwide. They get it at the Source skate park, or get it at the Source for all your needs. I'm trying to do
good plug, Chris.
Trying to do a sponsor plug, and it's just backfiring in my face. But good run by Casson. I know he's got more in the tank. I watched him ride in practice. Like you said, he can rip this bull, but maybe a little bit of nerves. A guy that doesn't traditionally compete as much, he might be a little bit overwhelmed. But a guy that we have seen in plenty of competitions is Mr. Jack Clark dropping in.
Yeah, super steep toothpick. It was good to see Jack out here because I haven't seen him in a little bit. 450. Oh my gosh, is he okay? 450 truck over the hip, and it looked like he cased and his front wheel slid out. Somehow he's completely fine.
That was a brutal looking slam.
Jeez. Oh my God. Go back with a steep toothpick again. Back into the bowl. Is he going to do it again? Oh my, 450 table. Even better. Switch down whip on the quarter. Look back over the hip. He doesn't seem phased at all. Look at that alley flare on the quarter. Nose bump back over the hip. 450 or 540 bar on the quarter. Yeah, Jack is he's not phased. He is not phased at all by that slam. That was insane that he just got up from that.
Yeah, brutal slam, and then to come back and put together a solid run such as he has, chalked with like plenty of difficult tricks. I mean, I kind of lost track, but man, that was a big slam. He came back strong, and Jack's another guy that didn't have a whole lot of practice. So I saw him out there riding today. It was the first time I'd seen him on a bike all weekend, so awesome to have him back out here. He's filling in for Mr. Anthony Perrin, who unfortunately hurt his knee earlier in the weekend, so always a pleasure, though, to watch Jack Clark do his thing.
Bummer. We got Jose Torres coming in. He is a shredder of usually the Vans Bowl series, but it's good to see him out here. He's first timer for Battle of Hastings. Down whip gap from that hip. People make that gap look so easy, and it is not. That is really, really, really big.
Well, and that's Jose's opposite direction. He kicks that downside tail whip, showing you the double tail whip right there on the quarter. Surprisingly, that's the first double tail we've seen today.
360 switch down whip, decade into the small bowl, transferring back into the big bowl, up on top of the monster wall. So he's getting speed for something. What is he doing? Pump in the corner, hitting that hip again. Looks like he goes to a 1 foot table, up onto the vert wall.
Maybe losing a little bit of energy right now, but the truck driver into the 6 foot quarter.
Wow, the truck driver. That was awesome. Jose Torres, first time to the course. He shredded though. That was really killer. Who we got next up? Who's next? We have Kieran Riley. This is what we were talking about. This dude is insane. He has done some great. There's another double tail whip. Kieran Riley, one of the first people to do double flares consistently, gapping all the way to the vert wall. You don't usually see Kieran riding like bowls and carving around too much. He's more of like a straightforward park box jump quarter pipe technician. So it's super cool to see him riding in a contest like this.
Check him out, right? Well, I don't want to give anything away, and I don't want to call him out, but he's got a very special move on that hip that I saw him do just yesterday in practice. Let's see if he pulls it out in the preliminary rounds or if he's going to try to save it for the final.
Double bar up onto that source wall. Little foot plant on the wall ride, or on the vert wall.
But yeah, more of a traditional skate park style rider. The box jumps, the spines, the quarter pipes. Maybe not a guy that's as comfortable in a bowl, but I mean, he's still doing what he does. He's still able to do what he does, which I know means a lot to the judges. And I mean, showing you like the 360 double tail, the double tail. I mean, he just really fit a lot of tricks into that run.
Yeah, and that's his stuff, man. That's what he does, and that's what we want to see you go out there and just do what you do. You know, you shouldn't have to conform to any style of riding. Go out there, do your stuff, and do you well. That's about it. You know. But yeah, looks like they're about to get maybe all the second runs in. Go back to the top with Greg, possibly. Daryl getting everybody hyped up. We can hear the roar from inside the commentating booth out there in the skate park, and it sounds insane. Greg Illingworth back in there, pumping around, getting speed, getting up onto that source wall, 1 foot Euro back into the vert wall, 3 look backs, stepping up into the roll in. Greg just hauling ass through this bowl. Wall right on the Dickies wall.
Yeah, Greg's a guy that I really like riding with. He's always willing to share the lines with you. Check him out right there.
What a thing of beauty. The Mike Aiken 360 fast plant on the wall. That is a classy move. I love that Greg does that.
And that's his opposite direction. Like, he's doing the 360 going his opposite way. And I think it's
takes
because
his front foot off.
He's more comfortable taking that front foot off, whereas I would rather just take the other foot off and spin my normal direction. So I don't know if that makes it easier or harder for him. I guess only he knows for sure. But
I spin the same way as, well, I don't spin the same way, but I take my front foot off like Greg, and I cannot do that trick because it's really awkward to do a switch 360 while you're doing the fast plant. So I can say from experience, that trick's really difficult. Rim getting back in there. Jeez, with the roast up onto the vert wall. 3 toboggan up onto the hip, getting back in there.
I'm already looking forward to watching him hit that quarter pipe again because he just roasts that thing. He's a small guy, and he can just blast a quarter pipe. Check him out.
Big bar air. It's I wonder how he feels about riding a bowl like this because, like we said, he's used to riding huge ramps like Tom. Wow, nollie pegs, hard 180 in a run. Them pegs to going for the pegs to switch whip going down. That is seriously crazy that somebody can do a 10-foot air in a bowl and then go do a pegs to switch whip on a ramp.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of his focus was on the Olympics. I mean, the Japanese cycling community built him pretty much his own skate park over there in Japan, and he was just, you know, really training hard for the Olympics, big box jumps, big quarter pipes. And I think that, you know, took his focus away from, you know, other things that he might have enjoyed riding. But he's back, and he's riding the bull, and he's always just really fun to watch, always brings something a little bit different. He has the hot bars, too. You got to watch how many bar spins he can fit into a single air sometimes.
Modern day Chris Duncan over here with 4 bar spins in 1 air, but we got Casson Downing back in the course. He is shredding, carving all over the place. Pegless, brakeless.
I think, Trey, he had a little bit of nerves on that first run. A guy that doesn't
rightfully so
traditionally compete, and you have some of the best riders in the world out here, and you're just a relatively unknown guy, and I think he's putting on pretty well.
Yeah, ripping around that curve wall ride, straight into the hip, straight into the bowl. That line is so sick. He is seriously shredding right now. Oh, classic Casey Badger style X up over the hip. Shout out to Casey, fellow KINK affiliate.
Oh yeah, I forgot I tried to do that sponsor plug before.
Sorry, I'll plug your sponsors for you.
one of our sponsors, KINK Bicycles, available at the Source BMX. Check them out. That one went way better. So good job to Casson for putting on right there. A little bit better than his first run. Kind of his body language tells me that's not the run that he really wants right now, though.
Yeah, well, he's got another chance to get out there and shred. So next up looks like we got Jack Clark getting back in there. He's getting back into the street section. Nose bunk bar over this little spine deal. Nollie bar over that. Downside Smith to ice over the Taco Bell extension. I like that.
Now, is Taco Bell a sponsor of ours?
No. It just looks like a Taco Bell logo. So
okay.
That's what I just call it that. 450 table. That is such a sick trick. Switch down whip on the quarter. Down whip back over the hip.
You notice on that downside whip, he slipped a pedal, but it didn't really even seem to phase him. He just puts that foot back on and keeps it going.
I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that he did it. He was just going. He was doing so good.
A guy that's just kind of
540
bred for contests. I mean, like, that contest mentality, like, it's not over until it's over. We saw him take the slam in his first run and just get up and just do 100 more tricks.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Nose press on the big quarter. Look back over the hip. There on the next quarter. It honestly looks like Jack is just toying around and he's just doing insane stuff. Very similar to like a Kevin Peraza, where it's like they can joke around and just do the hardest stuff possible, and it's disrespectful to how good.
Yeah, it's unfair. Really.
It is unfair how talented he is. But who do we got next up on the list? Who is next to drop? We have Jose Torres back in there, pumping around, getting some speed. Flying up onto the source wall with a no-hander. Down whip once again into the vert wall. Carving around the wall ride. Superman C-crab over the hip. Bar spin air. What else we got? Dude, big no-hander on the quarter pipe. Oh, 360 switch double down whip. Wow, that is gnarly.
So that was an opposite double tail whip for him, is what you're saying?
Yeah, regular 360, switch double downside whip, which is, it's like throwing a baseball with your opposite hand.
There we go.
We have that same conversation every time. What is switch, But I think the people know what we're talking about. Switch tail, switch double down whip. But a lot of these guys, they do so many switch tail whips that it's almost like you can just do tail whips both ways at this point.
Yeah, and it's almost like when a lot of these younger guys learn tail whips, they automatically just learn it the next day after they've learned a tail whip, they learn it in the other direction too.
Wow, bar to wall ride on that back wall. That is like, 4 or 5 feet back. Jesus, triple tail whip over like a 4-foot box jump. That was insane.
It's like not quite a box jump and not quite a spine. And
I don't even know what to call it.
He just throws the triple tail whip in there like it's no big deal. Another guy with the fast whips, the fast bars. There's that 360 double tail whip into the shallow bowl.
Jeez.
Eyes on back into the...
a little style,
Trying to
little
steeze
bonus.
it out.
Yeah, a little Corey Walsh action going on there. Hand play on the wall. No-hander over the hip. Jesus, triple tail whip on the quarter pipe. Hey, shout out to James Foster for doing the first ever triple tail, first one I ever saw at an elevation contest. I'm sure you were there, but shout out to James Foster, first ever triple tail whip.
I was there. I saw it. Yeah.
I saw it.
I seen it.
Yeah, that was gnarly. It's crazy that he can just do triple tail whips that fast. Like that's like I had never would think that would ever even be possible. Just fire out a triple tail.
Yeah, to like kind of land low, and then you hit the quarter pipe. You don't go very high, but you can still send that triple tail up.
You know what? What trick should I do? Triple whip. That's my go-to.
Yeah, and check out the angles that we have here. That camera just flying high above the source park here. And we got Mr. Greg Illingworth ready to drop in yet again, doing it for his sponsor, as we see on his jersey right now. The Mongoose jersey, as worn by Bart Taylor in the classic 1985 film.
Whoa! Jesus!
Man off the course.
Get out of the man's way. He is coming in hot. Bart Taylor he's pissed and he wants to win.
Wanted to win so bad. Why did he wait for Crew Jones?
He should have cheated like Crew Jones did. I don't know what to tell you.
Ooh, heavy debate. We'll save it for another time.
I don't know. Cutting the course seems like it's a cheating move, but this isn't the time for that conversation. Greg getting wild, almost hitting Grant Castelluzzo. This man is out for blood. He is just trying to, I don't even know what's going on. He's pissed off and he's running into everyone. Next thing you know, he might be flying out in the crowd. Who knows? But Greg, not really sure if that's what he wanted, but he's still shredded. We all remember the 3 fast play on the wall, so it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, always fun to watch Greg do his thing. Always fun to watch Greg ride the Source Park. In my opinion,
rides it better than just about anybody that I've seen. But
Rim getting back in there with the bar tuck no-hander into the vert wall.
How can he fit a bar spin to tuck no-hander on that transfer? It's not an easy transfer by any means.
I couldn't tell you, Chris. You know, I surprisingly enough, I've never barred a tuck no-hander that gap. So I really couldn't speak to it, but I wish. Geez, 1, 2, 3 bar spins. That's like what we were talking about with the Chris Duncan abilities on bar spin.
Always with the hot bars. There's that double tail whip.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, you know, with the current park riders nowadays, Rim really stands out because I feel like he has a traditional style. You know, it doesn't look like his bike's not super light. You know, he's just doing what he does, but everything looks really classic. Like, I love it. You know, Rim is a shredder. Double peg the bar spin on that quarter. On the rail. Whoa! Toothpick hanger to front flip attempt as a world's first. Oh my God, that was insane. Looks like Rim is definitely shocked, to say the least.
Yeah, just waving it off right there. You know, came off the bike with the front flip out of the tooth hanger right there, but you know, everyone loves it. You see Mr. Garrett Reynolds, he appreciates it. Felix Prangenberg is looking on. Alex Kennedy, we're all friends here, so impressive showing by Rim Nakamura. Not exactly what he wanted, but we got Casson coming back in, ready to put on for his 3rd visit to the course.
Yeah, he is shredding. Very similar to a Chad Osborne style, pegless, brakeless, just shredding around the course, going super fast.
Good call on the Chad Osborne, because you can see similarities in their riding style for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just going really fast, really high, pegless, brakeless. Shout out to Chad, but Casson is ripping this bull right now. Tuck no-hander over the, we'll call it the box jump, sure. Oh!
Ooh. When those knees and elbows lock, when you're trying to jump something, nothing scarier.
I need a lawyer for that case.
Well, I mean, it's their 3rd runs. It's exhausting out there. You don't think 30 seconds is a long time until you're going for 30 seconds and you're trying to keep your momentum rolling. You're trying to do tricks. You're nervous. After 30 seconds, like, you are done. So I don't envy the position that some of these guys are in. It's hard to breathe sometimes during a run, but if a guy knows how to overcome that, it's Mr. Jack Clark. Is on course.
Yeah, Jack is firing it out. He's getting ready to go.
Oh!
Okay. Oh my God! I don't even know what that 3 invert tabletop backflip, some sort of hybrid truck driver to tabletop over the hip, turn down on the quarter pipe. I can't even keep up right now. Switch down whip, alley-oop on the quarter, down whip on the hip.
Wow.
I love those 540s that he does. It's so sick. Sounds like a Joe Riley flare or something like that.
And just so you guys know, me and Trey are kind of hunkered into a concrete box here doing our commentary. We can't hear anything, we don't see anything, but we can hear the crowd from where we are getting loud for Mr. Jack Clark, because he's absolutely putting it. Do you see that 450 truck driver to late invert? That was just a sight to see.
Jesus! 900! Tony Hawk special in the pocket. God, that literally might be the worst place in the bowl to do that trick. Like, I think if somebody had to say, what's the worst part of the course to try at 900, I would have picked that pocket, and he just went for it.
And it's the end of his run, the end of his 3rd run. He's obviously tired, and he's just going to send the 9 on what you said was probably the worst place in the bowl to send the 9.
And running on fumes. He might have been hallucinating at that point.
But yeah, why not just throw the 9 in for good measure? Good on you, Jack Clark. Happy that you're here, happy that you were able to ride. Unfortunate for Mr. Anthony Perrin to not be able to ride in today's competition, but we are very delighted to have Jack Clark out here doing his thing. Haven't seen him in a long time, so of course awesome to have him at the Battle of Hastings.
Yeah, he definitely did not let anybody down. That was quite a show. Definitely shocked, to say the least. I mean, that 900 to end it off was seriously incredible. But we got Jose Torres getting back in there, getting some speed, getting around the bowl. Airing up on the source wall, get back in there for that transfer. Downside double whip. He was doing the regular whip for a while. Now he's doing 2.
He caught that double whip so early. He had so much more time before he hit the vert wall. So that's really impressive that he's able to catch it so quick. Just get those 2 tail whips around. And check him out, 720 corking it out.
Corked out 7 over the box. That is, and it's not a box jump. Like we keep calling it the box jump, but that thing is not a box jump. It has coping on it. It has 2 quarter pipes, flare whip on the other quarter. Man, this dude is ripping right now. Bar spin pocket air, down whip over the hip. Jesus, see, in that 720, it wasn't just like a regular, traditional 7. He was corked out, like borderline upside down, some sort of 360 backflip type of hybrid. I don't know. It was awesome. But we got Kieran Riley coming back in. He is, I'm sure, going to do something insane. Bar to wall ride, that is sick. Here he is at his the spine box. 1, 2, 3 whips. Oh,
wow.
God.
Truly one of the leaders of the new school of park riding right now. You see him transfer, just coming a little bit out of the back on that one, but keeps the run going. Check him out on this hip. Oh, he's not going to hit that hip. He's not giving it to me. I keep calling him out. I think he's going to do what I want him to do on that hip. But I saw him do some things in practice, ladies and gentlemen, so you got to stay tuned if you want to see what I'm talking about. But Mr. Kieran Riley is on course. Bar spin up and into the SourceBMX. Berm shot up there.
Yep, doing the hand plan on the wall ride, or the vert wall. I keep pulling on the wall. It's a vert. Double whip, casual.
Check him out.
Flip over the hip.
How did he have the speed to get, there's a front flip.
Oh my God! That's what you're talking about.
That's what I was talking about.
Jesus! Front flip over a hip. I don't even, I don't know what to say about that. That's that's pretty crazy doing it's so awkward because it's not a straight jump, but it's not a quarter pipe, and I don't know. That was seriously awesome.
Where did he get the speed from?
He doesn't need the speed. Doesn't need the speed. Doesn't need the speed, but he is shredding, Heat 2, wow. That was, like I said, this is only semifinals. So
yeah.
This is just the prelim, so I can only imagine what finals are.
But with these riders, it's kind of the type of riding we've come to expect from these riders. We know the riders, we know what they're capable of, so it's good to see each rider representing themselves and how they ride, and really how they show their style and what they're good at. So
definitely.
Very, very awesome. Heat 2 went off, as did Heat 1. Looking forward to Heat 3. When we come back, we are going to have a special interview with one of the riders from Heat 2. Be sure to stay tuned.
What is up, y'all? We are back with Rim Nakamura. You shredded, dude. That was awesome. We're going to ask you a few questions about how the jam went. How does this compare riding this type of bowl and street setup versus like what you're used to riding? You know, like huge, big ramps. You asked a similar question to Tom Van Bogard, but how do you feel like this compares to riding bigger ramps?
Like this is not only park contest, so I want to like park tracks and street like max. Yeah, that was hard, but yeah.
You killed it, man. You killed it. You killed it.
Talk a little bit about the atmosphere here at Battle of Hastings. If I'm correct, this is your first visit to Battle of Hastings, first visit to the Source Park. I see you at the big high-profile events like the Olympics, the X Games. Talk a little bit about the atmosphere here compared to what you see at those big high-profile events.
Like this is only invite riders, so, and I was watching this contest for many years, so I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you here, and I know I was really looking forward to watching you ride the bull, and I didn't know that you could do certain things like you did the pegs to bar spin in. Like, I've never seen you really use your pegs much before, so I was really surprised at that. But do you traditionally ride pretty much everything at home, or is it just have you been like laser focused on like mainly like ramp stuff?
No, maybe 2 months and one time use rail, but
That's
so
awesome.
I was practiced only today before the contest.
Okay, well, yeah, I would never have known any different. You looked really comfortable out there, and like I said before, it's so nice to have you here at Battle of Hastings. I know that the crowd is really excited to have you. You had a really long trip to get here, coming all the way from Japan, correct? Okay, so thank you so much for being here at Battle of Hastings. Thank you for this interview with me and Trey, and hope to see you in the finals, but regardless, just always a pleasure to watch you ride.
Thank you.
Are you going to try the hanger to front flip in the best trick competition?
Of course.
No.
Nah.
Good job, man. You killed
Thank
it.
you. Thanks so much.
Prangenberg, Team Dove, Sergio Leos and Josh Dove, and then Team Varignac, who we saw was currently in, I think, 2nd place right now, represented by Tom Justice and Kevin Peraza. Wow, that's going to be another stacked heat. Who are you looking forward to seeing in heat number 3?
Oh my God! I mean, Felix Bragenberg, Josh Dove, Kevin Peraza. What I mean, I mean, you can't say anything else. I mean, Felix is a wizard with pushing the street riding technicalities nowadays with the switch-footed stuff. Dovey, oh my God, he's just on fire lately. Peraza, we talked about him earlier. You know, it's always a treat to watch him. So everybody's gonna chill. Everybody's gonna kill it, and yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, a lot of these guys we've seen at Battle of Hastings before, but one name on there that I've never seen before in person is Mr. Josh Dove. Personally, I'm most excited to see him. I watched him in practice a little bit. He's got a lot of cool moves out there. He's got a really cool style. Watch what he does sometimes when he comes. He'll hit a transition and then go and sit down and then hit the next transition sitting down. He does this weird pop. Hard to explain. You just got to see it. Very much looking forward to heat number 3.
Yeah, it is going to be killer, man. It is seriously going to be awesome. And yeah, there it is. Wow, he just did the sit-down 3 in practice. Just cruising, hanging out, doing sit-down 360s, tricks that other people just don't do at all. But yeah, Josh Dove and you know what we were talking about yesterday with all the switch and regular and switch foot and all that stuff. Felix Bragenberg is the king of those moves right now. You really, really have to pay attention to him. What foot forward he's riding? Is it switch? Is it regular? Is it, you know? It's so complicated to where when I watch him ride, I'm almost more focused on what foot forward he's riding than what's actually happening because it's so hard to keep track of what's going on. So that's one thing to watch out for Felix is he's not doing normal tricks. He's doing things both ways, switch foot, and yeah, I mean, Peraza, he's always won. He's been here almost every single year. I would almost say every year, but he always pulls something out that's just completely insane. And yeah, this heat is gonna be.
Yeah, and Peraza's a guy that when you watch him ride, it looks like it's hard for him to mess up sometimes. Like he just pulls everything, like all the difficult tricks, just pulls them like it's no problem. But it looks like we're getting ready to get going here for heat number 3.
Jordan O'Kane getting in there with the nose to bar 180. Jordan is a local boy, and he shreds every year with the original lines. 360 over the rail, coming in, riding for Bone Death. 720 to fakie. wow, dude, he has a lot of really crazy spin tricks, but also he will do some crazy gaps to flat. He owns this bowl, man. He's done some of the most original with like the double pocket airs that he does and all the type of different stuff. He has super original, creative style, and I really respect it, man. I respect what the dude does. He shreds. Like that, corked out 540 flare. I don't even know what to call it.
Watch the carve here. Watch the carve. Like, I love the way he can carve that corner. He's got no shirt on, bare-chested, just taking a chance. Whoa!
Jeez, wow, going for that some sort of 540, 720 thing off the hip. Yeah, Jordan is a shredder. He has super unique style, and whenever somebody's unique, I respect that. Like, cause it's always it's just
yeah. Fun to watch him do his thing. He did some impressive things last year, almost like a little prequel to that, what he was doing coming off that hip with the corked out 3. Saw him do something similar last year, so I'm not going to give anything away, but if you know, you know. But check him out now, Mr. Felix Prangenberg, coming hot off the heels of his second place finish at the X Games recently, showing you why he is who he is.
He's going pegs, hard 3, and as you notice, he's right foot forward right now. That is his dominant side, so pay attention if he switches his feet. Felix going back, let's see what he wants. Nollie to crook on the rail. 3 whip to fakie in a contest run. That is absolutely mind-blowing that he can do that. And also, Felix shreds ramps. I think that's...
Felix is in the bowl right now. A guy that's, you know, up for...
Jesus!
Wow!
Wow! He just roasted about a 6-foot-high 270 to fakie over that hip and just acted like it was no big deal. He is really pushing the limits of like what is capable of BMX, and got a lot of respect for Felix.
Currently up for Street Rider of the Year, but no stranger to the ramp setups either, as we see right now. Just a great all-around, very gifted rider. Believe it or not, he said that when he was growing up, his favorite bike rider was Mike Aiken. And so, you know, you see like how, even a guy like Aiken can influence someone like Felix to be one of the best street riders in the world, which is so crazy to think. But
100%.
Check this guy out. This is Mr. Sergio Leos. I think
legendary.
Another guy that just rips this bowl apart anytime he puts his tires in there.
Yeah, Sergio is literally like a fine wine. The older that he gets, the smoother he gets, and the more dialed he gets. It's seriously mind-blowing to think about how long this dude has been shredding at this level for, and shows no signs of slowing down. 1 foot X up, ripping up onto that source berm wall, pulling back into the bowl. 1 hand, 1 foot into the 3 turn down. The Chris Doyle signature.
Okay, stop it now.
Huge no-hander in the back wall. Transferring back in, little slide. Can on the quarter. That is Sergio Leos.
That's a full pull from Sergio Leos. Just flawless style, flawless tricks, start to finish. Always a pleasure to watch Sergio Leos ride a bike. I mean, on anything too. You can watch him ride the trails, but check him out. Mr. Josh Dove, coming from Australia. Just an honor to have him here. One of the new faces, one of the new leaders of the new school. Just very excited to watch him ride. Check him out.
Look
Huge
at that
table.
Jesus! That alley was insane. Look at the height on this dude. Oh my God, huge no-hander. Dovey ripping right now. Coming through. Back seat grab, X up thing, transferring all the way back in, sliding around. This kid is such a natural. It's seriously, look at the whip, dude. It's not very common that you see guys that can rip transition and do huge tabletops that can also downside with the hip at like 8 feet. That is not a very common thing that you see. So the fact that this kid has style and he's got the tricks like tail whips, that's very unique.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah. And again, a very unique style. And talking about unique styles, we have Mr. Tom Justice.
Oof.
Watch the technical aspects of his riding. We saw him here a few years ago where he foo-fanooed the tallest point in this building. But I always love the technical tricks that he can do on command. He'll toothpick that sub-box like it's no big deal, but that would take a normal person at least 4 or 5 tries. And I always enjoy watching Tom Justice. New sponsor for the weekend. Doing it for one of our sponsors of the event, GT Bicycles now. Just picked up his sponsor about 2 days ago, so awesome to see, you know, good riders getting associated with good brands.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's killer. And huge shout out to Nate Wessel. You know, the dreadlocks really, it's really it's hairstyle inspired by Nate. So I'm really starting to see that. Fufnu on the sub wall. Don't see that trick very often, especially on type of sub rails like that. Switch-footed foot jam. Disaster to 360 hurricane back in. Wow, look at that. Switch-footed foot jam, little style kick out. I don't even know what they call that thing. It's just, you know what I call it? I call it awesome.
That's a good run, but I know that Tom Justice has more in the tank.
He's just warming up. He's just
warming up.
Just
Just
warming
first
up.
run, getting used to the course, just being out there shaking out the jitters a little bit, letting the dreads fly as always. Just always a fun time watching Tom Justice do his thing. But speaking of enjoying people doing their thing, Mr. Kevin Peraza is on course, a bit of a staple, as you mentioned, here at Battle of Hastings.
Yeah, I feel like he's here every single year because everybody wants him on their team. And, you know, there's nothing more you can say about Kevin than he's just a shredder. You know, huge no-hander in the ball. And I feel like Kevin really shines when he gets backed into a corner at the end of his run and he just starts doing crazy tricks. And he just, like that, like a huge flare transfer straight into the hand plant. You know, he just starts putting shit together that you've never seen before, which is just super unique, you know.
He did a Superman seat grab Indian air over the hip.
Oh, foot jam on that wall. That is insane. Like that.
Okay.
Wall 180, half cab whip into the hip like that. You do not see people do that trick very often. 360 can over the box jump. Flare, fly out.
Oh,
look like
crowd is just going nuts. He did that Superman seat grab Indian air over the hip, landed in the bowl corner, and then did the flare. It was just like so fluent, and it's so tight in there. Like it's hard to translate to someone that hasn't hit this bowl before. But trust me, that was some crazy riding by Mr. Kevin Peraza right there.
Yeah, Peraza is the man, and he, surprisingly enough, that's him just getting warmed up as well. Even though it might be super crazy, but that dude definitely has a lot more in his tank. So, like you said, this is just the prelims. These are just people just trying to qualify for finals, you know. And like, even though the riding is this crazy, it's still gonna get even more insane tomorrow, which is pretty wild to think.
And this is just the park session. We still have best trick coming up directly after this event, put on by Fireball Whiskey. We got Jordan O'Keefe on course right now. Now, my co-host last year, Mr. Dan Lacey, was not very kind to Jordan. Had some favorable things to say about him, but they're good friends, so it was all good. Once again, he's bare-chested, no shirt on, no helmet, no hat, just out there just getting angry with that bike.
Throw the bike. Throw it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Going for the 7 to fakie. Looking a little bit frustrated right now. What is he about to do? There is something crazy. Jesus! 720, 540, some sort of fly out craziness. Jordan O'Kane is a wild card. He is a wild man. It's so good to see him. I'm pretty sure he's from Hastings. I know that every single year he's here, so yeah, Jordan is a super unique rider, and he shreds.
Oh, getting a good look here at Joe Jarvis, who we'll see a little bit later. One of BMX's favorite substance abusers, but we'll see him in a little bit. Good run from Jordan out there, not what he wanted. Obviously, we'll see him again. He has another visit to the course, but we got Mr. Felix Prangenberg out here.
Over 180 over switch tooth 180. Pegs hard 3 come back in. Roasting that turn down over the spine hip thing.
Spine hip, box jump, bowl.
Nollie crook. Jesus!
Why not send the 720?
He said, don't worry, Jordan, I'll take care of this. Watch the 7 on the quarter. Jeez, the 3-foot plant. That is insane that he can do that in a contest run. Like, that trick is so difficult. Felix with a huge 270 to fakie over the hip once again. Using the whole course, too, which is super rad. 180 bar, 180. I saw Corey Walsh do one of those earlier in practice.
Again, a guy that we traditionally know as a street rider put out, like, 3 banger street edits this year, 2nd place at X Games in their street competition. A lot of people online were, thought that maybe he should have won the X Games. And again, not a judge here, but so he's having a stellar year, and he's showing you why right there with that consistency of those technical tricks.
Yeah, we got Sergio Leos getting back in there. Super classy, super smooth. I mean, there's nothing more to like about Sergio's riding. He's insane. With the ground check over the hip, straight into the bowl, straight into the wall ride, straight into the other wall ride, just hitting everything in sight. Wall ride back in, carving that vert wall.
He really leaves no stone unturned when it comes to a bowl. I mean, he can cover so much ground in a short amount of time. Taking the crank out of the, oh, check him out.
Damn.
Tuck no-hander, 360 into that bowl.
Switch air on the tuck no-hander too, which is super, super cool.
But Sergio's another guy. I think it looks better sometimes, him going his opposite way. He certainly has one of the best look-backs in the game and of the last 15 years or so.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. He is. Sergio has been doing this a long time, and he somehow doesn't slow down. Like, no matter, every time I see him, I'm like, yep, he's still killing it. Still on that level. It's incredible.
Well-conditioned man right there.
We got Josh Dove getting back in there, and let's see what he's got. Oh my God! That 1 foot tabletop had to be 12 feet in the air. That is seriously insane. Wow, look at that lip slide. Jeez, dude.
Going to the roof.
Wow! That no foot can was so up and down. Reminded me of Chris Toole.
It's like his legs grew an extra foot on that top side, no-footed can. He just came out of the rafters on that first hit. Just blasting.
Jeez.
Look at the 270.
Dude. Flare on the quarter.
Wow.
Josh.
One of the leaders of the new school right now. He's a young guy just out there just sending it. We saw how high he went out of that quarter, just giving the guys on the second floor there's something to look at. Get a good look at the bottom side of his bottom bracket, really.
The no-foot can was insane. We got Tom Justice getting back in there. This dude has done some of the craziest things in this park. With the in-down on the hip. Wall tap on the pillar.
I want to see Tom Justice get super technical because I know what he can do. I know what he's capable of. He's just kind of flowing around right now. I love when he kind of like slows down a little bit and does a lot of those toe jam tricks, a lot of the hurricane style tricks. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain watching him do his thing right now.
Yeah, switch no-hander over the hip, 360 over the box. Oh, here's a specialty on the sub rail. Foof. Foot jam over that. That's so casual, but so crazy. Whip to foot jam in a contest run. That's insane. 540 Canadian foot jam. Wow. That is seriously insane. I mean, I know I've said it a few times about people doing stuff in contest runs. That is a trick you do not see people do in a contest run. A 540 Canadian foot jam.
Yeah, and to do it first try at the end of your contest run like that after you've just put on for that entire time.
Casual.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
What does his shirt say? What does Peraza's shirt say?
Smile now, smile later. He's
Okay.
a happy guy, man. Positivity, you know? Truck driver transfer over there, over the spine thing. He is wall coming back in. What's he got speed for? Looks like he's really going for something over the hip. Whip back that front wall. That is such a far gap. It is not easy to get to. Going around the curb wall ride, switch. Can tire grab over the hip. That carving flare we saw before. I think he's
Unfortunately, sliding out for Kevin Peraza. Had such a good run going. Keep in mind, this is only his second visit to the course. He's going to have a third run to make up for whatever kind of bobbles he's had on this one. Ooh, wanting a little bit more into the shallow bowl. Doesn't quite get it, looking like he wanted the tail whip, but you still see the smile on his face. Check him out, that G-turn.
Nose 3 on the box jump, straight into the flare whip. Yeah, man, Kevin Peraza, he's seriously, it's incredible how dialed he is. Probably wants a little bit more for his next run, but that was still, did a bunch of crazy.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Mark Webb giving him the pound. All the boys on the deck are stoked. Gary Young with his hurt finger. I actually talked to Gary after the rail jam, and he said that he dislocated his finger after he landed his grind on the rail. And I'm not sure if he's still riding. I'm not sure what's going on, but I remember yesterday we were talking about the finger, and turns out he dislocated it. So
no, unfortunately, Gary Young's weekend is over. I don't know who's going to be riding for Gary quite yet, but yeah, unfortunately, he put that finger out of place, and we won't be seeing him grace us with his presence in this bowl. But we have Jordan is back in.
Local boy Jordan O'Kane back in there. He is really wanting something out of this bowl. Let's see what he's got with the 540 flare on the quarter pipe. Alley-oop, pocket. Pocket again. That is the sickest move, man. He seriously has some of the most unique lines in that bowl. That double pocket air is one of the coolest things. Nollie 180 bar over the spine. Seems like the crowd's really, it is roaring out there. They are really getting behind him. 360 over the rail.
It's like you said, he's local, so he's probably got a lot of friends in the stands right now.
540,
huge 540.
360 to flat. This dude does some of the biggest roof drops that go on in BMX right at the bone death, and he just did a 360 down that. Another, it seemed like he was going for the 540, and then last minute he's like, you know what, I'm going for 7.
Those 540s are wild. When you look at the position of his front wheel, it's like an off-axis 540, not quite the flare, but like really impressive to see. I love the stuff that he does in that bowl corner where he just kind of carves around, putting a lot of faith in the knobbies of his tires, just hanging on. So good showing by Jordan O'Kane right there. Looks a little bit tired, a little bit frustrated maybe. But yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see him again later this weekend.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. But who else do we got next? We got Felix getting back in there. He is Peg's nose bar up there. Oh my God! I know how frustrating that is because he can do that trick so easily. It's always in a contest run. When you mess up on something that you can do all the time, it is so frustrating because it just really it ruins your vibe of your run. He's getting back in there. Cab to 540 cab over the rail. That is seriously insane. Looks like he's calling it off. But 540 cab over a railing. Jeez, man, that is seriously insane.
Yeah, and I almost jinxed him because I said he hasn't messed up anything so far, and then he messed that up. So
can't do that as a commentator.
No, I
can't do that.
That's why I didn't say it.
Can't jinx the riders.
I was thinking it, but I didn't say it. But unfortunate for him. But I mean, he had 2 really good visits to the course. I don't know how much that 3rd visit is really going to affect how the judges place him because he did so much in those first 2 visits to the course. Coming back for his 3rd visit is Mr. Sergio Leos. Tons of speed, tons of style, tons of height, always bringing some of the best riding to a bowl.
Huge dead sailor going.
Huge dead sailor. You love to see it.
I love to see the really, really good guys mess up every once in a while, so we know they're human.
Absolutely.
Can't be perfectionists all the time, but I'm sure Sergio is just getting back in there and ripping. Ooh, look back to the wall. It's so beautiful.
I would love to see Sergio do one of his signature Sergio downside whips on that transfer.
I was not going to say the Superman C grab because he used to have a mean Superman C grab.
No, I'm talking on the gap
into the vert wall.
Into the vert wall.
Okay.
Because he's got one of the best downside tail whips of all time. If we see him in the finals, I'll make that request. Be like, okay, Sergio, on behalf of me and Trey, we want to see that downside whip into the vert wall. If you could please do that for us.
Josh Dove getting back in there, the youngster. He's going for that quarter, stepping up, getting speed for something. Getting to the vert wall.
God.
Jesus! Alley-oop, round chuck on the quarter. Bar spin to tuck no-hander on the quarter down there. Carve around, getting speed for something. Signature 1-footed tabletop air.
Did Josh win the high air contest at the Vans Waffle Cup? Did he win that?
I believe so. I believe that he did. Oh, there it is! The crowd pleaser, the sit-down 360.
How do you do it? How do you do that?
Jeez! With the pullover, that was amazing. Look, my knees don't bend like that anymore, so I can't even sit down and ride a bicycle. So the fact that he can sit down and 360 a full-size jump like that is seriously mind-blowing. It's just so unique and so sick. He's Josh Dove, man. We talked about it earlier before. We were looking forward to seeing him ride. He didn't disappoint me.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he's a new face amongst a couple legends out here. Speaking of legends, we got the Fids in the background right now.
UK legend, Fids. You got Tom Justice get back in there. 1-foot X over the hip. Curve wall ride, switch. That's crazy because nobody else is doing that
wall slap, yeah.
Ooh, the no-foot can. Stepping on Dovey's toes, maybe. Justice getting back in there. Knack into the big bull. Back over the hip. Switch 270 up on to the roll in. Another no-hander. 3 can over the box.
He looks casual, doesn't he? He looks really casual.
Oh!
Check him out.
The foot jam toothpick, the foot jam back over. Shout out to Mike Cottle with the foot jam toothpick. Wow, with the switch to which God, I can't even keep up right now. Switch foot jam on the quarter to 540 Canadian foot jam into the Hurricane. I couldn't even keep up. There was so much going on. That was insane, man.
Yeah, we can hear the crowd from here getting loud for Mr. Tom Justice. Always a pleasure, never a chore to watch Tom Justice do his thing. Getting high fives from Mr. Kevin Peraza, who's our next rider to drop in. Smile now and smile later, Trey.
Yeah, man, why not? Ooh, nice hand plant, hand on the coping, really getting it out there. Alley-oop, flare whip, ooh, barely caught it. Maybe he's going for the ice pick, JK. Nose, oh, looks like he wanted the nose 3.
On a personal level, I don't like when people do that hand plant thing. But when Peraza does it, it looks all right. That's like my exception to the rule. I'm like, okay, Peraza's doing it, it's okay.
I hear you, I get it,
There's certain people that are exceptions to the rules. Check him out.
Wow!
Going flare to disaster.
Shout out to Matt Behringer. Yeah, Kevin is, everything that he does is super unique. Wow!
Oh!
Flare over the spine thing! Oh my gosh!
Okay, Trey, you called that a flare over the spine. I would call that a backflip 180 over the spine, because a flare, traditionally, you come in on the same transition that you left from.
Well, Chris, I respect your right to be wrong, but I would call that a flare.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Yeah, I mean, a flare is technically a flip in an air. So, I mean, flip 180, flare, tomato, call it whatever you want,
Yeah, call it badass. That was some impressive riding by all of our riders right there. Just was that Heat 3?
I don't even know.
That was
yeah.
So
I don't even know.
Once again, Heat 3 coming in strong. We saw Kevin Peraza, Tom Justice, Josh Dove,
Felix Pragenberg,
Sergio. Come on. Like, if you're not entertained by what you just saw, then I don't know what to tell you. It's so much fun to just watch these guys do their thing. Again, watching riders ride how they want to ride and do the things that they want to do. Coming up soon, we're going to have a very special interview by one of our riders that was in Heat 3. You're not going to want to miss it. Please stick around.
What's up, y'all? We are back here, Battle of Hastings, and we got Mr. Josh Dove. Now, me and Chris were talking before the contest, and we were both saying, like, who are you looking forward to seeing? And we both said, you. So, you definitely didn't let us down. You killed it. And obviously, you've seen this contest online years before, so how does it compare to being here versus seeing it online? Is it what you expected?
It's a lot better than I expected. The park is like, I guess you could say, it's a little bit smaller in person than video, but like the crowd is insane. The roof starts shaking and you just like go drop, it gets nervous, but it's a lot of fun. It's insane.
Hell yeah, man, that was awesome. Yeah, you killed it, man.
I like to ask people that have never been here before. This is your first trip to Battle of Hastings. People that have never been here, what do you think about the atmosphere? Talk about the spectators, talk about the MCs, Daryl, Andy, Zeiss. What does that allow you to do? Does it help you ride harder, ride faster, go a little higher?
Definitely, like when that crowd's banging on that fence, I want to do my best, show everyone what I got, but it definitely makes you push harder, and you can see it in all the riders, it's better riding in front of a big crowd. When Daryl calls your name, it's something else.
Yeah, you feel those chills go down your spine a little bit. Now, you're 19 years old. What's it like for you to share the deck with a guy like Sergio Leos, he's the legend of that heat, for real. I mean, and he can rip the bull harder than anyone, and he's, 37, 38 years old. So what's it like to be able to share the deck with some of these legendary riders?
Well, I look up to every single rider in each heat here, so it's pretty crazy to sit on deck with your favorite riders. So it's nervous, but we're all good mates and it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you wanted to ask him a little bit about the seat pop 360.
Yeah, the crowd pleaser, man. The seat mount 360. I saw you at the Vans contest a few weeks ago do the sit down 3 to foot jam, and you did the crowd pleasing sit down 3 over the box. What's up with that move, dude?
Well, I don't really know where it came from and how I do it. I've tried to explain it to Jason Watts to learn it. He kind of figured it out, but I didn't really have much to say about it. I got no idea how it happens. Some reason it just works perfectly.
You say to Watts, just figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to help you. Sorry, Jason. Better luck next time.
Yeah, I mean, who does seat mounts better than you and Jason? Who does it?
I'm not sure.
Shout out to Jason Watts. He's not here this year, but we're all good mates with him. But yeah, dude, you seriously killed it, and you did not disappoint me and Chris.
Thank you for not making us look like fools, because they were asking us about who we want to see in this competition, and we both mentioned you. So thanks for riding so hard and riding so well.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Killer, man. Good job.
Coming up, we're going to get a look at our leaderboard here right now. Team Varignac is currently sitting in first place. Team Josh Dove in second place, looking good, Josh. Team Jones in that third place position. Team Riley holding down the fourth place, and Team Anthony Perrin sitting in the fifth place. Now, keep in mind, we do not have our park scores just yet. We're still waiting for those to come in. So we are going to see this leaderboard shuffle a little bit. So very much looking forward to seeing where it lands everybody after the park the park scores have been put in. So this thing can get shuffled around a little bit. We have the best trick competition coming up, put on by Fireball Whiskey. You're going to want to stick around, because that's when things get nuts. I saw what Morgan Waite did to this place a few years ago during the best trick competition, and believe me, go get your coffee, go take a bathroom break. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be absolutely epic. And if you want to join in the conversation, be sure to hashtag BOHBMX. You can talk trash on me and Trey. You can talk about the riding, say what you like, say what you don't like. Get involved, have some fun. A big thanks to all of our sponsors that allow us to come out here. The Source Skate Park, Monster Energy, Vans, ECLAT, ODYSSEY, and a myriad of more that I'll get into in a little bit. But again, don't forget to hit that hashtag BOHBMX. Get involved, and hope you guys enjoy the show.
What Chris said.